Hi everyone, Dr. Elizabeth Bonet here, and Dr. Liz. If this is your first time listening, then welcome. I hope you like what you hear. And if you do, please share it with a friend or family member. If you would like to get some free hypnosis files, then that's really easy to do. I offer one to reduce fear and anxiety, another one to increase emotional stability, and a third for a better pregnancy and birth. So you can get those over at my website, drlizhypnosis.com. That's DRLIZ hypnosis.com. Or you can text the word hypnotize to 444-999. That's the word hypnotize to 444-999. I think it's like such an easy way to join the newsletter. That's why I offer it. Before we go into today's episode, I do need to say the podcast is not a substitute for mental health treatment, nor should it be. If you need psychotherapy or hypnotherapy, please seek treatment from a trained professional. Now, I do hypnosis all over the world. That's done through Skype or WhatsApp, or sometimes someone has a US phone number or a calling card type thing. Whatever it is, we work it out. But if you'd like to see how to work with me or learn more about me, whether you're local or from afar, you can do that over at my website. That's drlizhypnosis.com. I offer a free 15-minute telephone consultation. So that's a great way to get a sense of what it would be like to work with me and to ask any questions you may have about that. Sometimes people decide to fly in and see me, and they'll do a intensive couple of days, and then they'll vacation here because I am in South Florida, which is really nice most of the year. Fort Lauderdale is right above Miami, so we have beautiful beaches and gorgeous water that's warm to swim in. So people really enjoy that. All right. I hope you enjoy today's episode. Hi everyone, Dr. Liz here. I thought I would just do a mini episode to thank you for the podcast going over 150,000 downloads. It is such a huge milestone, and I'm so grateful for all of my listeners. I just wanted to tell you that. Thank you so much for listening, for subscribing, for sharing the podcast with friends or family. I get emails all the time where someone said, "Hey, my mom sent me this episode," or a friend sent me this episode, or my aunt sent me this episode. So thank you so much for doing that, for sharing an episode with someone who you think it would help. The podcast has been an absolute wonderful journey. When I originally started it, it was really because I loved podcasts myself. Like I would listen to them when I was cooking, when I was walking the dog, when I was exercising in the car. I listened to them all the time. And I thought, well, it's a great way to give back, to do my own. And the original purpose of the podcast was to educate about hypnosis and talk about the research and science behind hypnosis that a lot of people are not aware of. And I still do that on the podcast. But after the first year, I sent out a survey and people wanted to hear even more topics. So not just hypnosis. So in the second and third seasons, the second and third years, I expanded into all kinds of ways to heal and transform. And it's provided really great variety for the podcast, which shows up in the numbers, right? Thank you so much if you're listening to this and you've been a guest as well. I learned so much from my guests, and I so appreciate their time and their contribution. So thank you. Another development of the podcast in this third year, this third season, has been sponsorship. And this is really exciting. I think all podcasters get excited about sponsorship because it really helps the podcast grow, and it also lets their listeners know about a service that perhaps they wouldn't know about. The interesting thing about podcast sponsors and how it differs from any other medium really is that it's what we call evergreen, quote unquote, meaning it stays forever. And when you really think about time, it's very interesting because when you sponsor a podcast, when you advertise on a podcast, you're advertising for the future, for the present, and the past, because people are going to download that episode for a long, long time to come. So that's really interesting. It also gets put on the website because all of my episodes and my show notes publish automatically on my website. So that's another way that sponsors get known, is that link is always on my website. I was interviewing someone else for my podcast, and I had been on hers, Carmen Roman, who publishes Emotions in Harmony in both English and Spanish. It's quite impressive. That's quite a feat of love and dedication, I would say. And she said that when I put on my blog that I had been a guest on her podcast, so their numbers jumped up. She said it was a visible jump. And I was like, that's amazing. That's awesome. So I know many of you are going to the website to listen to the podcast, and thank you for that as well. Another thing that I love about the podcast that has grown since I first launched it in November of 2016 is that I get to work with people from all over the world. This is really fun for me. I have to say, I really love it. I get phone calls and emails, and sometimes we do that through WhatsApp, which is a very common app on a smartphone so that you can talk for free anywhere in the world, pretty much, as long as you have access to Wi-Fi. Or sometimes people travel to see me because I am in sunny South Florida, and it is a really nice place to visit. Fort Lauderdale is right above Miami, so it's right at the southern tip of Florida on the East Coast where the water is beautiful and warm and blue. So people will come in and do some work on themselves, some healing through hypnosis, and then enjoy the rest of their vacation even more, right? I call it a therapeutic vacation. So that has been a really wonderful surprise about the podcast. And thank you all for those surprises, for these lovely, lovely gifts along the way. Remember, you could always schedule a free consultation that I offer to anyone, anywhere in the world, over at my website, drlizhypnosis.com. So to wrap this up, I hope for all of you that you have something in your life, whether that's a hobby or work, that truly brings you joy, that gives you inspiration, that helps you grow and learn and move towards wisdom, that makes you laugh, that's fun, and that you love to do. It's such a great joy in my own life, the podcast as well as hypnosis and my private practice. So thank you all so much once again for making that a reality in my life. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Peace. I hope you truly enjoyed today's episode. Remember that you can get free hypnosis downloads over at my website, drlizhypnosis.com, drlizhypnosis.com. I work all over the world doing hypnosis. So if you're interested in working with me, please schedule a free consultation over at my website, and we'll see what your goals are and if I can be of service to you in helping you reach them. Finally, if you liked today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast or tell a friend. That way, more and more people learn about the power of hypnosis.